emotional release. So I know this is harder for
I
guys.
just cry all the time. Just my pillow is soaked at night.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Unqualified, unsolicited, and totally honest opinions on midlife. This morning, you and I sounded like a bunch of 9-year-olds because,
How so?
well, because aches and pains and you were all stiff and then all of a
I
sudden,
I love that I just wake up and my back hurts and I'm like, I didn't do anything. It's like I had gotten a fight during my sleep or something like that. But no, you just sleep wrong or something. And
right. And
oh
then
yeah, all
all
of
of a
it.
sudden I was moving and then my quad on my right side and I'm like, what's happening? Like it's all just tight and
Yeah.
like, those movements where you're like, and yes,
It sucks. It sucks because I was talking with Carson the other day, and I was like, I never had to stretch as like a kid in sports or anything like that. You just
Right.
went out and played, you know. You never had to
Yeah.
do any of that, and now it's like, oh man, I got to stretch. I got to do yoga. I got to like,
Yeah. But don't you feel like with your friends or even work people? I know with my friends, we're all like, oh, this hurts. Or my friend who's amazing and so active and works out and she's like, looks phenomenal. She pulled her back. And it's just all these
yeah.
things are happening.
It's such a bummer because I wish we're both very active, and I wish that there was a moment where I'm like, oh, my body was just pain free, and it just doesn't. I don't know.
Right. Right. I know.
And if this is halfway, what's it gonna be like? Because I see your mom hobbling around the house and stuff, and you're like, oh my god, that's such a bummer.
Yeah.
I
And
don't know. What's the
she hasn't been active and stuff like that. But I mean pain as in like neck, headaches, brain fog, like there's all this stuff.
yeah.
And what not a lot of people are talking about is that we're living a lot in this stressful, like everything seems like urgency. So when everything seems like it has to happen now or it's a level 10 and the importance is so high that then cortisol kicks in. And
Okay.
cortisol takes over your body. And then you're like in this tight, like, don't you feel sometimes? I feel like when the kids come home or like everyone needs something, and I just go into like tight, oh God, and then I got to do everything, or
Sure. Yeah.
and then like, oh God, dinner and timing wise and mom math and it just all those mock. So when you do that, it's like no wonder our bodies are like
Tense.
overwhelmed and tense, and it kind of makes sense because turns out there's a mind body connection.
What? Come
And I mean,
on.
when you think about it, it does make a whole lot of sense, right?
Right.
And so, but not a lot of people are, it's like we'll have to go to the doctor and they'll diagnose something or just be like, huh, I don't know. Or I know ChatGPT is really helpful. Like when my friend pulled her
Like the
back and she
old.
was she put in all her symptoms and she saying what are some home remedies, and it gave her like this really awesome, and it helped her, which is great. And so you want to start focusing on and helping the problem, but a lot of times the problem will happen because of emotions. And then also, when we do have a problem, how hard is it to get into a doctor nowadays?
Oh,
It's
it's kind of insanity. And I guess that's maybe how they've orchestrated it so as to not overload the system, but it's frustrating. My doctor, like just my normal, gonna see him every year doctor, retired, which I was like, took forever to find somebody. I kind of like the guy. It worked, right? Nothing's perfect. And then I get this email that he's retiring, and then it's just like, see you later. Not like here.
handoff.
Yeah, no handoff. So now I got to find a new guy. And you're just like, oh my. And it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. And I even
Uh,
texted, like, I have a group of amazing friends and women because we moved here 5 years ago. So I'm not dialed in
yeah.
on still. And I put out this Mayday of like, anyone have a doctor or their husbands have a doctor they like? And everyone's like, no, not really. Or my husband needs one too. Or, so it's really hard. So
I
we
know.
got to do what we can control. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today because sometimes you don't need a doctor. Try and do what you can on your own.
Wait, yes,
Sometimes
yes.
you do need a
But
doctor.
I
Like
mean,
once
you know how much we spend in
oh
health insurance a month. It's
yeah,
kind of just crap
oh,
that
it's
like
total
we
crap.
can't go and see a doctor to like help or do things that are preventative so that we don't have to be back
Yeah,
there later on. Like all of it, the whole thing. Don't get me started.
I know. So not only can you not get into one, but we'll talk about what we can do on our own
All
and the
right.
awareness because it is a big it is a big issue, and our bodies are trying to tell us something sometimes too. And so we just need to like take a beat and like there's a whole book about it, like the body keeps score. So all these emotional things that happen, like have you ever gotten off a call, like a stressful work call, or your parents and your sister and like that whole thing going on, which is aging parents, and then you get off that call and you feel exhausted?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can be
totally.
emotionally drained.
Emotionally
Yeah,
stressed and you're just
yeah,
like exhausted, or work stuff. I mean, everybody's work stuff, like things sometimes it's chill and happy, and sometimes
right.
it's like, oh God, quick emergency. And so your body, think about like if you really touch base with that, and I've really been trying to do this lately. So mine is the kids will just go, I'll just be like
You're triggered.
writing at a 5, and then all of a sudden I'm like 11, 11, 8, 8. Now back to a 5. And then it's like, it's just skyrocketing and then
Right.
here and there. So kids or work stuff or just life stuff will just spike those
Okay.
instant.
So
So there's things we can do
what?
about it. Well, number one is just start checking in with yourself and be like, where is that pain happening? Where do I feel tension or stress? Like,
Okay.
so
Yeah, I think I carry stress in my neck, probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're sitting all day.
Yeah.
I mean, not all the time, but like a lot of people working at desks and
Yeah.
stuff. And that is, and then the phones and
The
like
whole
we're
thing.
kind of
The whole thing.
like life is heavy carrying on our shoulders. So that makes a lot of
We're
sense.
doomed.
Yes.
Unless, Barbara, there's a solution. What is it?
Well,
What is
Brian,
it?
Brian, but pushing through the stress is not going to help. You want to like definitely try and repair it. Okay. So number one,
Which
like
is
when you're
completely
hurting
against
and then
my
you're going to work, I know that is-
everything. Against my
you're
everything.
like, I don't care. Pain is good.
Yeah.
Da, da, da.
Fight through it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You're kind of in a rough way. So maybe try something different.
Mm.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
Let's try that on. Okay.
Mm.
I wrote down some things, but you want to see where your body's screaming for help. So like we never take time to just be. We always have these notifications on. We're like, it's just we're always consuming.
When you're
something.
saying just be
Like no technology, like look outside for a minute. Like today is a gorgeous day. Like
yeah.
just take 5 minutes and like look outside, take a deep breath, and then like check in. Just be like, where am I feeling tight? Where am I, and then you like that's a good awareness of that. And then movement, which you're so good at, but like softer movement. I know you've been really prioritizing the stretching.
Yeah.
So we have the
Yeah.
Peloton app. We use it at
Yoga,
home, and
yeah.
you do like your weight stuff, and then you do yoga, and like, or they have awesome stretching classes.
Yeah.
So not only,
And I don't even do it. I mean, like I do not even as much as I think one should do.
right. Cause I think all this, aging and perimenopause and everything, at least for me, they're like, weight train is so important.
Very.
Right. And it is, but also those recovery
Yeah.
parts too are so
Yeah.
important. And
It's like hand in hand.
yes, totally hand in hand. So you have been decently like, and maybe you need to step it out about that. And then emotional release. So I know this is harder for guys.
I just cry all the time. Just my pillow is soaked at night.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I hear the sniffles.
Yeah. Just cry myself to sleep.
Sometimes it is good. I know for guys, but sometimes, like, I know I was listening to a podcast the other day and the topic was really sad. And I just like felt myself like it was percolating and bubbling at the top.
Right.
And I was just like ugly crying for 2 minutes.
Ugly
And it
cry.
felt
In the
good 'cause it was
car?
a release. It was by myself.
Where? In the car?
Totally safe.
Here?
In this car. I wasn't like parked outside our house. I was driving.
Yeah.
So whoever passed me, I was like, I don't care. But like you gotta release. Or journaling helps. I know this is like funny.
Yeah, these are all things I do.
I know. Or like I know sometimes like movement as in like you're in the sometimes you just want to dance or sports will help, like
Yeah.
just kind of getting it out. And then like I said before, kind of boundaries of turning off notifications, saying no to things is good.
Yeah.
This is really cool. I won't say what it was for, but someone asked me, because I'm a doer. I love people. I love helping.
Yeah.
So I get asked for a lot of things. And
Yeah.
someone was asking me to help like for a fundraiser. And they're like, hey, could you contact some businesses and get some things donated for our auction? And I was like, honestly, I'm at capacity right now. I'm doing
Nice.
all these
Yeah.
other things. So I can't. My goal is to start helping you guys out next year, but I can't this year. And she gave me the best response. She goes, "Good for you." And I was like,
Which is really
"Thank
true. I think
you."
we all could do a better job of
Yes,
setting boundaries, you know?
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely, and I
But
was
how that correlates to health and aches and pains, I guess it's less stress.
less
Yeah.
stress
All
and
right.
overwhelm and
So
like
you really think
allowing
that
time.
much of that many of our pains and aches are stress
And
related?
this isn't, I'm not an expert, but I do my research and I listen to a
You
lot of
do.
doctors. I do.
Da da.
Um, and but you know, it is, I mean, this anyone could chat GPT this or Google it. There
Right.
is it's not just me going, "Hey, you know what I think it is? I've been doing online medical school." And
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
this is a thing. Like
Right.
I'm, you know, and then also nourishment. So sleep, taking naps, eating the good food, but like not being so hard on ourselves, like not being like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to, I'm cutting out carbs," not extreme. I feel like everything, and I've been using this,
Black or white is so
I've
yeah.
been using this term a lot this year thus far, and it's softer, like it's softer approach, not so like masculine, crazy, intense. It's like a just a lighter, softer way
Sure.
of doing things
Yeah, yeah.
because us,
I mean, we talked a little bit about that in the New Year's resolutions. Like
yeah,
just little micro changes can lead to a big change over time
yeah.
versus trying to do something that's macro that maybe we're not going to be able to
Totally. Not
maintain.
so extreme.
Yeah, that
And
makes sense.
being lighter on ourselves and easier. So if you're tired, you know what a 20-minute nap or a 5-minute reset, just breathing can do
Yeah.
for you?
You
It's
have that
amazing.
mat. What's that mat?
Oh, it's a PEMF mat. It's a, oh God, electromagnetic frequency. Yeah, I have a woo part of me for sure.
Sure.
But this is like higher dose. It's a brand. I have their red light mask, and then it's this mat, and it just kind of it has like ion therapy. I don't have like what it would do. And you
Right.
and
Oh, I
Chris
put
have
you on the
asked me all the
spot.
times, like, what does this do? And I'm like, I'll read it to you because it does. It just I meditate on it in the morning. I do it after I
Well,
work out.
I guess my point is, yeah, you know,
There's things out there.
yeah.
Not that you have to go by this mat at all, but
No,
I just what it does for me is actually it
you lay
heats.
down, you calm, it's
Yeah, you just a
warm, and
minute
yeah.
and I'll do a meditation, or sometimes I'm just staring at our window because I've
So I
always
guess
wanted to
my point on that
yeah.
thing is it reminds me of back in kindergarten where you had to just lay down on those little
Oh, yeah,
mats and just rest for a minute.
yeah.
And like even if you fought it as a kid, which I was a high octane kid, like I fought that, but every time I would then get up from doing that, you're all like, "Oh, I'm good." So if there's additional benefits of this mat, who knows?
Yeah,
But the fact
it's
you're
hitting
sitting
right.
on like a warm mat, just relaxing and breathing and
Yeah,
resting for a moment, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at is probably pretty good.
yeah,
You know, that's back to like just chilling for a second,
totally.
you
And
know?
it's funny that you bring up the mat, like kindergarten or preschool, whatever it was. Like none of our kids could
No, we
rest.
never
Like
had
some kids are
nappers.
out to lunch, like
Yeah.
they just check out and they're asleep. Our kids were the ones who are like, well, we made them stay there, and I'm like, well, that's good because they just need that calm because
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the term high octane. I like that you said that
Yeah.
because it really is. But we never had
They all died, including me. Not died, but like melted when they hit the car and you car seat them in and there's nowhere to go.
like
And then they would zonk
who
out.
didn't love that harness? You're like, you were, I once I clicked you in, I'm like, ah,
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
you know, and you're right, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, play some music
Yeah.
and yeah, you're right. The car was
I
our
often
kryptonite.
jokingly say it like on set. I was talking about this the other day and I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if you had like a giant that could just cuddle you like how you would hold your kids as
Yeah.
a baby? And you're just like, between errands, your giant just walks you around and you're like,
Yeah.
there. You just rest in your giant's arms and
Yeah.
then, you know,
Maybe they'll do that with like
with robots, like big
robots,
monster
like
robots
make
someday.
them
You have a coddling
yeah,
robot.
the coddling must be like
Mm. Might be a $1 billion industry right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of creepy, but makes a lot of sense. I don't know.
you like person Bjorn it with your
Yeah.
big giant robot, not
Yeah.
baby Bjorn, you know.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Okay. Well, anyway,
Off
back on
topic.
helping people.
Yeah.
Yes. Or besides our awesome ideas of
Yeah.
how,
Yeah. We probably could have made somebody a billionaire right there.
yeah,
with that
totally.
idea.
Elon, if you're listening.
Yeah. Well, he is a longtime listener.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah,
He
of
might go
course.
under an alias.
You don't get to be that intelligent without listening to stuff like this.
Totally. Or like he's just like, I'm nailing it here, but I really need help.
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
listening. Yes. But
Shout out to Elon.
woo, Do you have aging parents and you're still raising your kids? Then welcome to the sandwich generation. It can be super overwhelming, but I've got you. I wrote an ebook that helps you save time, energy, and money. And you can get your copy on thesandwichgen.com/ebook, and it will help you with all the things you need. But I have heard in many places of like healers or naturopaths and a lot of people out there, even on Mel Robbins and stuff when she gets experts on, is the head and body connection and how you can get back to that.
By being what, like positive, mentally positive?
No, just aligned. Like, do you ever, like, sometimes I think I'm just doing and not being. And so I
Sure, we
kind
all
of
go through
see,
motions and then we're like,
for
oh
sure.
God,
I
what did
think
I
we
just?
spend a
Yeah.
lot of most of our day doing and not being. And then when you have those moments, whether it's like doing the dishes or I'm cooking or even when I'm driving, I just have to like stop for a minute and be like, is
Present.
my head and my body, do I feel like they're connected? Because they can totally disconnect because they're just serving their purpose and kind of in survival or whatever, just the doing mode. And
We
so
were kind of talking about this the other day with pickleball, where you say when you play pickleball, you only have to focus on pickleball, which is a great escape for you.
totally. And my head
Yeah.
and
Is
my
that what you're talking about?
body,
Like that?
yes, like
Yeah.
activities like that where I'm like, oh, I'm
Aligned.
aligned. And sometimes I can't remember the score, so I don't know how aligned, but in the moment, I am aligned. Like head.
I feel like the score is an and one in pickleball. I think if you're really in the moment,
Yeah.
you're playing that moment, you're playing the
you're
ball, you're
enjoying,
moving. Yeah,
yeah.
you're not also keeping track of where
That's
you
true.
stand. So I think that's
'cause
why
like
that
a
happens.
future thing. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. And then
It's just high caliber individuals that can do
yeah,
both.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And here's some awesome things you can do to align your head and body. So one is a grounding technique.
Okay.
And if you don't know, you don't know. Like if you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So grounding, there's a lot of ways to do it, but sometimes it's just like sitting there and feeling your feet touching the ground. You can also ground by touching grass and
But
sometimes
to skin.
no, but even like just standing in your
I've
shoes.
heard that shoes
No.
don't really.
There's different kinds, but just
Okay.
feeling yourself, like feeling where your body is, like it.
Being present then. I
Yeah,
guess,
being
kind of.
present and like pushing your feet into the ground. That can easily do it. So if you can't get to grass or
Okay.
something like that, but grass is a different way. Like when you travel, you can like to acclimate to either if you've changed time zones or even just your body in motion. It's good to get your feet on real ground, like
Yeah.
dirt or grass. But
Yeah.
that's real woo. But we're starting small. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so small, just feel your feet in your shoes. This next one I love. I heard this years ago and I think it's so good. I think it's what's her name? Martha Beck, I think is who said this, and it's really good. So, number one, you're chilling, you have no notifications on, you might be looking out the window at the pretty world and nature, and you want to think of 5 things you see. So you're like, oh, I see trees, I see gravel, I see a house, I see all these 5
Okay.
things you see. 4 things you can touch. So you're like, oh, I feel my sweatshirt on me. I feel my jeans. Oh, my shoes. Oh, these socks are really comfy. Oh, 4 things you touch. I love that I'm giving examples, but sometimes we need them. 3 things we hear. So if we got really quiet right now, like I can hear like the computer a little bit.
Yeah.
I hear like Rufus
The dog.
breathing.
Yeah.
3 things you hear. 2 things you smell. I can smell Rufus. Or
Because he doesn't get a bath.
yeah. And then
Still working on that.
And then I smell myself because I showered and I put my favorite perfume on. And then one thing you can taste. So if you're not currently eating, just be like, maybe a little bit of blueberries that I ate like a half hour ago, whatever.
Okay.
But
So.
what it does is it really centers your brain with all your senses. So you're really bringing those
5, 4,
together.
3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, touch, hear, smell, and taste. And then it is the best way to bring I think it's worked really well for me. Another one.
You do that?
Yeah, I'll do not as much as I should. And this is why this is such a good reminder too. But when I'm really feeling discombobulated of like, I'm just kind of, I just feel out of whack. And that's usually when I'm short fuse. I'm reactive. I'm not in control. I'm like monkey brain of like my lid is flipped and I'm like, bleh, bleh. Yeah, and you're like, why can't I ask you this? And I'm like, because I'm activated. I'm like, so
that never happens.
never like almost every day. But if I did this more, I would be more aligned. I would feel more in control when your body and your
Okay.
head is more. So I need more of this. And then another one is shaking it out. Like literally, like you know how dogs, when they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of shake it off,
yeah.
they are literally shaking off energy. Like they are just resetting themselves. And so no one has to be watching. You could do this even sitting in your car. Like, or if you're just walking to the bathroom and do it if you're worried, but like literally just shaking, like just wiggle every
Okay.
limb you have and whatever. And
Another preschool thing. So maybe
another
everything we need it in life we
well,
learned in preschool.
exactly. And then check in with yourself throughout the day. Like have those check-ins. And I know I've been told this from that awesome parenting expert, but she's like, take your temperature. Where are you? Like, are you about to lose your shit? Are you like, I'm pretty mellow right now? Like you just want to do those little check-ins, especially before you and I've talked about when you're going to transition, like if you're coming from work to home life, like
Right.
check in with yourself. Where am I? If you're about to get
Right.
on a big work call, where am I? Where's my head at? Am I aligned or am I like out to lunch or, and then date night, school event, whatever, going to a social situation, check in with yourself. Like, I think that's huge and awesome. So, I love that.
And then ask for what you need. Is that kind of the follow up there?
Well, and then,
Are we talking like mornings when I get up after you and you're at 100 miles an
yeah,
hour
I
and
think
I'm like,
that's,
yo,
yeah, you're like, you've been up for an hour in the
yeah, yeah, I
morning.
need
And
you to,
honestly,
pare it back a little bit.
I think that's a great example because it's not rude to me. I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah, because I'm like, "Ah, I want to
Yeah.
talk to you. I've done all
Yeah.
this stuff. I feel so good, and I've been like
Yeah.
running, and you're like, I'm just putting my shoes on. I'm about to run. I meant throughout the day, and so I think that's a really good. It's setting that boundary and be like, hey, I love you. I'm just getting going, and you're already there, so give me that minute. Or even with the
Boundaries and
kids,
moments.
like, hey, just saw you got in from the door, like why don't you take a snack and wash your hands and then we'll talk about your needs, like, or
Yeah.
just setting those boundaries of like, this is where I get triggered throughout the day, it's when this happens. Or actually one of my friends was talking about her boss and she's like, everything's an emergency to him. And he's
Right.
like, and she goes, and he asked to get on a like a whatever app
Zoom.
it is, or
Oh,
yeah, a Zoom or a whatever they use,
meet
like
up.
a meet,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
Google Meet. She's like, and it has to happen right now. And she goes, it triggers me because I can just feel my body go into like, oh God, it's like if
Mm.
someone, it's those little triggers in your day, like
Yeah.
we need to talk. You're like, "Ah," it's
Yeah.
how do you not? And so she actually made a request to him and she goes, hey, I love talking to you. Like, I don't know,
Give me a
be
10-minute
nice.
heads up.
But like, give me
Yeah.
a heads up, or can you at least tell me what the topic is that we're going to talk about? So my brain can just be, I'm better coming
Good
into the call.
good
He
for
doesn't
her.
say it.
Good for
He
her.
he just goes, we need to talk. And then she's like, "Blah."
Yeah.
And so she's like, he's slow to adjusting, but he is. And just be like, and I go, just applaud him when he does do it. But those little triggers through the
That's
day
smart.
that set us into those fight or flight, and
Yeah.
everybody has them, whether you're in an office, momming, like running your own business, there's going to be those little things and just try and get ahead of it. Or just be like, oh, you know what? This is where my body, this is where I'm starting to be like, my shoulders to my ears, or my stomach starts to feel really tight. Like digestion is a huge part of all this stress. And
Mm.
like if you're not loose, like I remember this is so TMI, but I think a lot of people out there, so I'm going to share it.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm going to share the poop talk.
All right.
So either you're like
Still,
overactive, underactive, or like very rarely are you, not you, one is like overactive pooper, underactive pooper, or like you're stable label. Like very few. I feel like there's so many digestive issues now and it's stress related. And so I am very underactive. So when I was talking to my naturopath and I'm like, I just hate feeling like, and it's a problem for me.
yeah.
And so I went to a oh no, not geriatric. What's her title? But I went to someone pelvic
Yes.
floor because I
Oh,
went to the gastro and they're like,
okay.
here, have more fiber, and that still wasn't helping. And then I went
Yeah, it
to
kind of feels like it's always fiber. They're like, fiber.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. And they only know what they know.
yeah.
And they're not, and for maybe 90% of people it helps. But like for me, I was like, it only makes me feel worse. And da da da. But so there's this pelvic floor specialist. And I was kind of like nervous. And I go in and she goes, and she was, like touching my abdomen. And she goes, your like whole
Your
digestive tract.
stress.
She's like, think of it like an elevator. She was, you should be at main floor. Like you should be resting at main floor. And she goes, yours is like, you're on third floor. You're like, you know? And she goes, so of course your body isn't going to give you the signs or you're not relaxed enough to be like, she's like, you're just
Let it flow.
holding it in. And
Yeah.
she goes, you need to wear looser pants.
Oh.
Like, let your belly. She goes, I know we're all like high and tight, like hold it back. You know, especially stress can cause the midlife, midsection awesomeness sometimes too. So she's like, all of you guys are holding this shit in. She goes, but that's
Literally.
literally. Yes, you're right. And she goes, but you need to like, and so she goes, even before you go poo or try to,
Yeah.
she's like, take some deep breaths and make sure you can feel that pelvic floor, that whole like lower
Relax.
midsection, relax before you even try. And I'm like, oh wow. And that has helped so much. Like I actually am like mindful before I go to do the task. And then I like take some deep breaths. And then she's like, don't be on your phone.
Getting
Don't
old
be,
is the worst.
yeah. Like she's like, just like be present and just be, you know, and I'm like, okay, so I had to bring that up. 'Cause that was really
You're
helpful.
meditating the poop.
Not meditating, just
It's
like
smart. It makes
checking
sense. But so
checking,
you're
right?
saying
Like right now, I can feel. I think
it's
I'm
just
excited, and I'm like,
mindfulness and
but like
yeah.
mindfulness of where your body's at, like just because you can feel, like whether it's your throat or your head or your
Yeah, I think
shoulders
we
or
can
your
heal a
stomach.
lot more of it
You
if we do.
can, you
Yeah.
really can. And when you start aligning, and it does make so much sense. There's books about it. There's studies about it. Like you can get disconnected so easily because the way our day is. And then
Yeah.
if you've tried some of these things, or even look up your own and see that I'm totally right, and I did my research, but do your own whatever of like, how do
So
I connect my mind and body?
so you're
You
saying to
go
like
see an expert then afterwards. But like, if you've had chronic pain, if there's something a bigger issue, but usually it stems from somewhere, and usually it is stress because I think everyone is dealing with some level of stress, some
you're not
level of
human if you don't
like,
have yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so being aware of it and doing some of those things, that 5 4 3 2 1 of the senses, the shaking it off, like daily kind of throughout the day check in, like those are really helpful things. And I'm not nailing this. I'm not. But talking about it and remembering how much it's worked and served me, it motivates me to do
You
more.
gotta try,
Yeah, you
right?
gotta try
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We're not gonna
Right?
anything we do, we're not just
Like there's
jumping
just
in.
so much,
Yeah.
we're in an age that there's so much more awareness and studies and help out there. So you might as well try it. If you're having the same result without doing something different, that's insanity, and try something new. Like just implement one of them. And just be like, okay, I'm gonna prove Barb wrong. Try and prove me wrong and see if it doesn't help. Like
No, no, I mean I think your mind our mind or one's mind is super
so
powerful.
strong. So
Yeah,
strong.
there's a lot to be said there. If you just
Yeah.
sort of like I feel the energy moving away from my neck pain. Say you have it, you know what I
Like
mean?
that
And
shaking
yeah.
thing totally helps.
Uh,
Totally
uh,
helps. And it's that emotional regulation. Like you're just gonna, not only is your pain and body gonna hopefully feel better. I mean, it's not one time, people. This is like you gotta do more.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
this should be part of your daily habits, but like you're gonna be emotionally better. You're gonna navigate stress better. You're gonna not nerd out when your husband asks one question. You're like, that was the thing that broke me. You know, I'm like, oh my God.
That never
No.
happens.
Yes. So it's just gonna, it's gonna help. And because it's something we've been laughing at, and now I need to like,
What do you
okay,
mean
my
we've been
body,
laughing at? You mean like just
laughing
the
at how
aches and
old we
pains?
sound.
I know. Gosh darn
Yeah.
it. This
So
adulting thing is stupid.
maybe instead of talking, maybe the next time you and I bring up a pain, either one of us will go, hey, let's think about 5 things we see right now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
what's you mean if you do the 5, 4,
Like
3, 2,
help.
1? But what's an even easier like? You're like, oh my blah 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 hurts. What would you say immediately just to like, just breathe a little bit, put some mindful attention to that
Yeah,
thing, and then
think of
try
it.
and
Think
relax out
of
of
it.
it.
If you want to get a little more woo,
I'm
think
just
of
saying,
it.
like, if it just a really
Yeah.
fast, yeah,
Think of your
G code.
your leg in a really good situation. You just be like, I'm so grateful for my leg. My leg is awesome. You know what it does for me? It gets me from A to B. It helps me run box with boys. It helps me on the pickleball court. It
Yeah,
does this. And like gratitude, because it's in every episode, because it is so
powerful.
big and
Yeah,
powerful. But like I think, but also that 5 4 3 2 1 is super fast. The shaking super fast.
yeah,
The like just a deep breath and like just not being stimulated by anything but like what is in the quiet. We just never
yeah,
are allowing that quiet, or
yeah.
that just like what's another word for just over non-overwhelm, like what okay, you don't
Yep,
have
I'm
any
fried.
you're fried.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm thinking of like I like the
Stimulation,
shaking.
just the non-stimulation.
Overstimulation. So
Yeah, because overstimulation is like most of our days. So just allow that non-stimulation.
Yeah, having oh, that's yes, yes. Because we are so crazily overstimulated that
Yeah.
maybe just a moment of non-stimulation can help
Yes.
get you centered
Yes,
again. Yeah.
very. It will. And like if you can give yourself 5 minutes a day, and I started doing that after I meditate, and like I'm just looking outside and I'm like, I am such a tree person. But I'm like looking at these trees and I'm just watching them move. And I'm like, wow.
That's
Like,
nice. Yeah.
and it's just, I'm just watching it. And then I'm also like, then I start feeling gratitude because I'm like, I always wanted a house where I saw a tree out every window. And I'm like, look at the abundance of trees out this one
Yeah.
way, and I'm like, look at another one. I'm like, there's more trees. Like
Your
I did this.
mind is powerful. You
Mind is
manifested
so
it.
powerful. And again, climbing up that emotional scale of like, if you're in pain, and then it's like you're just lifting out of that by having a better feeling thought and aligning your body and your head, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
Super simple. I'm never going to
Super
be in pain again.
Stop.
Nice.
If you loved hanging out with us, hit that follow button and share this episode with someone who could use a little midlife magic. Now go rock the rest of your day.